Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to Data Analytic Group. Today we are going to discuss about Microsoft Fabric F-SKU pricing. So if you're observing the capacities part, most of the organization gets started working on this Microsoft Fabric licensing. What are the various or variety of licenses that are available? What kind of an options if you want to utilize this Microsoft Fabric functionality? This part we are going to discuss in detail. So the options part, we have two different options, pay as you go and as well as reserved pricing. So we will discuss in detail about the topic. And today's agenda, if you're observing the capacity model, we are going to discuss about it. So because Microsoft Fabric, it is having multiple workloads, how it has been differentiated for each and every product wise. That part we are going to discuss. And how this FSKU ladder has been get it doubled at each and every level, and what are the capacity prices. That part we are going to discuss. And there are two types of models as per the part of the payments. There is a pay as you go versus reserved. What is the differentiation between these two? Which one is the good forever real-time activities? That part also we will discuss about it. And what are the different F64 threshold? F stands for again fabric related content, and how it is uh, varied based on other licenses below the other licenses like F2, F4, F8, F8, F16, and so on. So capacity planning, we are going to discuss about it like a decision tree. So where is the metrics we can identify related to the workloads, and these are all concepts we'll discuss. And along with that, if you want to resizing the capacities and chargeback and even the governance for the administration part, we are going to discuss that part also. Fine. This is how it is captured under one single capacity model. If you're observing, these are all the workloads in Microsoft Fabric. Once you want to make use of Microsoft Fabric workloads, these are all the workloads will be get it available like Power BI, Data Factory, Data Engineering, Data Science, all in one single umbrella. This is what we discussed many of us in other events and so on, right? Microsoft Fabric doesn't sell each and every product wise license. It is selling around one particular capacity unit where you can consume or else observe all different types of workloads here. So one pool for each and every capacity unit that every workload below has to be get drawn and build against. So each and every SKUs, which will be get started from F2 through the last number is F2048. Even recently, as per my observation, as per the licensing chart, there is more than that, above the 2048 also available. That part also we will discuss. And what about the cost? Very interesting thing. That part also we will see. If you're observing, this is very important slide. FN. N stands for capacity unit. So instead of earlier, we are calling, if you're working on a Power BI part, PSKUs, we are going to call Power BI stock keeping unit. Now we are moving on to the Fabric FSKUs. F is none other than capacity. That's what we will say, fabric related capacity. 2 capacity unit per second. F, again, 64 capacity unit per second. 2048 capacity unit per second. So if you are observing, each and every tire will be getting double for the compute engines part. So F4, if you can take the F4, 2 into F2, that is F4. F8, 2 into F4. It is getting doubled at each and every level. So in the next slide, we are going to discuss what are the, other than that F2, F4, F8, many another licensing, the capacity models are there. We will see that options too. So all the features, you can see it from the F2 itself, like Power BI, Spark, Warehouse. These are all the workloads will be getting visible to you whenever, if you're getting start with F2 itself, if you are going with an F2 license. So each and every ideal time, the workload has to be become available and you can observe and we can consume those workloads accordingly. And coming to the very important thing, billing by consumption. Usage is smooth and overall rolling 24 by hour. As per the utilization, that charges will be there. It's not about like not built unit spiked information will be added there. And this is how the FSKUs has been breakdown. It will just getting started with F22, which is a 2 capacity unit, and 2,263 pay as you go per month, and reserved is for 156. So I'll just give you a little bit of example about pay as you go and the reserving. This is for reservation is for the 1 year is there, 3 years is there. That is something like a commitment. Suppose if you are enrolled for an Zim monthly basis, there should be some charges. If you are consumed for the complete yearly package, there should be some reduction. So likewise, if you're observing F2 capacity SKUs, 2 capacity unit, pay as you go, that is the as usual charges, no discounts, and the reserved is something like 156. Likewise, other capacity units also be SKUs has to be get it trigger. So F4, F8, F16, F32, F64, which has been get it doubled, 2 into F4, 2 into F2, 2 into F4, 2 into F8, 2 into, I mean, that means it is getting multiplied, okay, double the value. So likewise, F256 to F2048. So as per the utilization part, best is to suit it for our real-time activities. If it is a simple development part, we can go with an F2. And if it is a small team maintenance part, if you are consuming the capacity SKUs, we can go with the F4. Likewise, for a particular department, F8, F16 is for the larger teams and analytics, F32 is for the business unit and larger models, F64 is something like enterprise-wide, where even the users who are going to absorb or else consume the Power BI report, they no need any license. So we no need to pay the additional license for the other, like if you're consume the capacity like an F64, the stakeholders not require any license. They can view a report and a free cost. F20, 128. Above than that, if you are consuming or else if you are purchasing the SKUs, no need to pay. The free viewer threshold should be getting added there. This is how the cost pricing has to be get it added. So I have compared with the two costing here, Indian INR rupees and as well as US dollars for it. So it is getting started with the starting SKUs F2 to the. So if you're observing, we discussed up to 2048 only. Other than that, we have two more, F4096, F8192. This is also very important, which I have captured from the checklist, Azure pricing cost checklist level. So capacity unit, you can see the capacity unit, 2 capacity unit, and 4, 8, and so on. It is getting doubled until the 8,192. And you can see the charges on each and every monthly basis as well. If you are going with a pay as you go method. So as I mentioned, two types of approaches, pay as you go and as well as yearly reservation. That is currently they are available with a 1 year reservation. Another one is the 3-year reservation. That part also we will discuss in detail. This is how the capacity, the SKUs has been getting double. So which is getting started with the F2, F4, F8. So it is multiplying, right? You can see that F16, 16 plus 16, 32, 32 plus 32, 64, 64 plus 64, 128, and so on. Like that, it is getting double, starting with a small capacity, and we can utilize and check the fabric capacity metric, and we can consume accordingly. Like that, we can proceed. F64 is having a special step here because it doesn't require any additional like a viewer license. That's what we discussed in the earlier slide. So it changes how the end user stakeholders not require any license. They can consume your reports or whatever the workloads that we are going to share it with the customers. Fine. This is very, very important slide. Pay as you go versus reserved. So I have written some important statements as well, how it is a differentiation part. F2, if you're observing the light gray color, pay as you go, which is having the higher charges. And coming to the reserved for 1 year, which is going to pay for the less amount. So let me take it one simple example, pay as you go method. So pay as you go method, I have written very in detail. Pay as you go method is something like no long-term commitment and a monthly charges, whether you have utilized or not. I mean, it's something like pay for every month based on the usage. Suppose if you're consuming the 100 GB capacity, you have to pay for the 100 GB only, right? Likewise, it works, pay as you go. So usually the most expensive, if you're observing as per the SKUs, F4, F8, F16, and so on, you can see the differentiations too there. Like that. Like one example I can showcase to you, I can tell you. If you're monthly basis, average per month, if you're moving in options like pay-as-you-go method, the service charge is estimation approximately $900 per month if you can consume that as a pay-as-you-go method. So if you're going to use the Microsoft Fabric for 3 years, you have to take it 900 into 3. That means 36 per month. 12, right? 12 months per 1 year. So if you are using that method 3 years, that means 36 into 900. Then we have to pay around $32,400. Likewise, think about in another direction. If you are consumed for the 1 year reserved capacity commitment, 1 year commitment, and another approach is a 3 year commitment. Benefit is lower prices because they are providing some discount, pay as you go method. We can keep the resources as per the usage part. Beyond the usage, beyond the reservation, you have to pay accordingly. That is how it works. Normal price is around $900 per month. That's what I said, right? If you're consuming the reserved information, that should be around saving with 20% on a monthly basis. Likewise, it works. Okay. F64 threshold. Every viewer need a Power BI license, pro license. If it is a below F64, every viewer, that means every stakeholder is going to have a license required. Pro license is required. Similar example again. Suppose if you're working with the bigger organizations, 500 viewers are there, which they need a pro license. If you can check the amount, how much they're charging, 6,250, right? Per month, 500 viewers. Take it as a $15 currently, take it as a $12 per month per user, single user. You can calculate it according to 500 viewers. So you have to pay around 6,250 to 7,000 per month. Suppose if you capture this SKU F64, you can see the result there on the right side, 64 or above. Viewing the reports or any other workload related access is free for everyone, and pro license is not at all required for them. Okay, F64 reserved is around 4,982 per month, right? It's best. That's how the segregation is happening as per the Microsoft Fabric price and capacity. This is very, very important slide. If you're observing, which SKU do I actually need? Suppose sharing is only less than or equal to 50 internal users. No need to build or not performing any data kind of refresh. Such kind of a scenario, you can go with the Power BI Pro licenses. Skip the capacities, this kind of a scenario. Or maybe if you want to move to the Fabric environment, start with the 60 days trial account, where single tenant Microsoft, they will extend up to 2 times the trial account. After that, you obviously have to go with any specific SKU that is getting started with F2 to the, you can choose it accordingly. After we will get some idea after 60 days, yes, this is our expectation. These are the workloads which are required for our project. We will decide it. Like that, we can choose the license capacity. If it is an F4, F8 as per the discussion, as per the earlier slide, which I have showcased to you. Consumption stable per month, you can see. Move to 1 year reservation, that is best approach. You can see the same capacity, which is 41% cheaper. And if you are using the larger audience, like more than 500 people going to view your reports or any other semantic model, if you want to provide an access, you need some access, right? In such kind of a scenario, you need to go with F64 and above. So the end users are not require any pro kind of a license. We can share the report and they can view a report accordingly in this kind of an approaches. This is how it works, the capacity planning. So pricing example by organizations wise, you can see here, startup with the F2 reserved, 226 per month dollars. F60, mid-range companies, mid-market. You can see the differentiation as well. F2 reserved 156 plus 5 pro licenses required. Okay. F16 reserved, and you can see the charges plus 20 pro license. Each pro license is around $15 per month per user. We can count it. We can multiply it, math it, so that we can build a full Medallion architecture and build the lakehouse, refreshes will works, and you can share the reports as well. F64, reserve for reserve enterprise level, 5,542 per month. I will showcase to the real numbers as well. Maybe it's a presentation smart. Current, what is the real number for each and every level, which I have captured that snapshot as well. Cost optimization strategies, you can see here. First, if you're not using that Fabric, we can also purge that workload. Currently, I also purged because I'm not working outside of my business service. I can stop. I mean, instead of stopping, you can purge the production, I mean, activities too. And track the real consumption by utilizing the Fabric Capacity Metric app. We can check the utilization capacity by enabling the capacity ID. And also we can switch back 1 year. We can also change it from 1 year reserve to the pay-as-you-go methodology as well. And we can segregate, separate the development from the production environments. And smoothly spikes, like a refreshing jobs, we can check it over on each and every billing mechanism part. Review before renewal. So whenever the estimates, I mean, like maybe if you're purchasing the pay-as-you-go or 1 year renewal, we can renew it, we can check it, and then go for the proceeding for the next renewal process as well. These are all how the governance part, monitoring. We have a separate Fabric Capacity Metric app. And the charges back, we can also consume based on the workspace mechanisms, how much has been utilized. Guardrails, admin capacity settings, we can check the workspace assigning capacities and trigger if there is any heavy workload and jobs. Forecasting for the next 30 to 90 days. Trends we can observe as per the reserved capacity. This is how we will optimize it and govern the future prospect as well. Fine. 5 important things that you have to keep in mind when you are configuring or else discussing about the licensing. I mean, Fabric related licensing. The number after F, literally the capacity unit. So F2, F4, F8, these are all 8, right? 8, 16, and so on is the capacity unit. F64 means 64 capacity unit per second. Every SKU, stock keeping unit, include every workload. All the workloads which you have discussed. Only the throughput matters there. And the reserved capacity pricing is approximately 41% cheaper than pay-as-you-go. We discussed about it. Example, gym. Right? Monthly basis, if you are going for the gym and the gym bill is around 2,000 monthly basis. Suppose if you are reserved for the next 1 year, as per the discount, they will reduce the charges too. Likewise, reserved and pay-as-you-go method works. Okay, all the workloads are available. Either you can go with the pay-as-you-go and reservation. And F64 removes the Power BI Pro license, not required for the end user. That is a very biggest advantage if you are working with the larger audience or stakeholders, sharing the reports to global stakeholders. Start with the small and check the message, I mean, metrics, capacity metrics, and resize it as per the allocations, as per the utilities, and throughputs. After observing everything, you can resize the capacity. We can change it. Currently, basically, if you want to test with the POC, you can start with an F2, and then we can increase gradually from F4, F8, and so on, as per the business, I mean, how the modules has been executed. Like that, we can do. Fine. What I will do in the sense, as a part of keep exploring, I will share you these links on the YouTube description as well. You can also cross verify. Let me add Azure calculator as well. So Azure calculator, price calculator. Before moving on to the price calculator, this is how the charging, I mean, changing capacities. You can see SKUs has been available. F2 capacity unit 2, that is the charges 26,000 INR. We already discussed about what is the charges on dollars also. This is the slide which works. So let me showcase to you. Important. So $276.91 per month. This is per month the charges. Likewise, other SKUs 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. It's a double only. You can see that. Okay, F2 to F4, F4 to F8, 8 plus 8, 16, 16 plus 16, 32, and so on. F8192 is the larger capacity unit. You can see it, the charges accordingly. Right? And as I said, you can also resize it. if you are as per the utilization, as per the infrastructure that you are going to consume, you can resize it. So let me walk you through a little bit about Azure pricing calculator, which is very, very important. Most of the people who are going to get started with the Fabric related activities, they will ask this, how we will get it calculated? Is there any calculator available, or else how can we define this is the pricing, or else you want to reach out to the Microsoft support team and so on? Not required. Mostly as we have Azure pricing calculator. So once you can click on this link also I'm going to provide in the description box. So see here, this is our front end view. If you can go little down, you can see the estimate price. Click on this estimate price. Click on the estimate price. It will give you all the items that are available in an Azure platform. You can see here, little down, virtual machines, storage accounts, SQL database, and so on. As per the left-hand side, you can select. So currently we are working on the Fabric related. It comes under analytics topic. Click on this analytics. So here you can find it out. Microsoft Fabric or separate individual analytics means Azure Synapse Analytics or Databricks and so on. It is available low. Let me click on this Microsoft Fabric because we are currently discussing about the estimations. How can we get it derived? Add to the estimations. View it. Click on that. Little up. Little up. They will also provide an architecture. If you can see here, end-to-end architecture. Click on this. End-to-end architecture calculator is working on. Okay, 1 second. Yeah. Yeah. So they're providing on the data and analytics part in estimations. Okay, here they're adding some default structure. So as per the data source that we are going to utilize, if the data source is something like an on-premises or external sources and so on, unstructured or structured, you can see all the information. If these ingestions part, if you're using this template, okay, architecture template with a complete template, stores, process, and all the, including the copilot. This is how it has been get calculated. Now, if you want to design on your own, okay, you can also do the estimations accordingly. So see here, little down, you can change. Okay, you can change it as per the utilization, as per the selection of each and every workload. Okay, you can change it. And this is how the design looks like as per the choosing of the regions. Okay, and if you can go little down, as I said, two types of an approaches, pay as you go method and reservation. Okay, reservation in two different categories, 1 year reserved and 3 years reserved. You can check it here itself. Okay, pay as you go. This is the monthly charges, 1,051. Suppose if you are observing for a 1 year reservation, this is the charges per month. This is the per month charges, 6,625.33. So like that, maybe if you can change it to the upfront charges, this is how it looks like, upfront. Upfront means earlier, first itself, you are paying the amount for 1 year. Okay, this is how the charges estimation has been performed. So upfront is something like, as I have written here, pay the entire reservation amount immediately. That is what the upfront. And if you can change it to the monthly, same charges, nothing is there. This is for complete year, 625.33 into 12 months. Maybe around, it is coming around 22,512. That is what the charges. For complete year, this is how the looks like. $22,512 per year. Okay, upfront. This is how the looks like per month charges, and this is the upfront. So if you can go little down, storage capacity wise, how much data wise we can change it, and the cost also will be get it reduced accordingly. Maybe if you can check 100 GB, you can see the charges. 1000 GB, you can see the charges. Okay, these are all. I'm going to provide you the link on the chat, description box. You can just go through it as well. Okay, so if you want to ask how can we still any confusions, You can always reach out to me. I will be available on LinkedIn, or maybe you can reach out to me via my group, Data and Group. You can comment it. I'm happy to help you. This is how the each and every layer level analysis. If you can go little down, you can see the complete pricing. Maybe if you want to change your as per your local currencies, you can change from here. Okay, let me showcase to you India as well. Indian rupees, 1 USD is equal to 94 currently. Okay, so 3,37,434. Okay, like that we can proceed. Got it? Fine. Hope you like it. And if you have any queries, I'm happy to help you. Thank you. And I will provide these links in the chat and as well as, description box so that you can view it and share your valuable comments. Thanks. Have a nice day. Bye.